Mr. Jacob, should I start now?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Loveth. In today's presentation, we're going to look into built-in data structure in Python. But first of all, I want you to understand what Python is. Python is an interpreted high-level general purpose programming language. Its design philosophy emphasizes code readability with its use of significant indentation. The language construct as well as its object-oriented approach aim to help programmers write clear and logical code for small and
Excuse
big.
me, Loveth. Please put on your camera.
My camera is off.
I can't really see it.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Can you? Is my camera on?
Yes.
Okay. As I was saying, that Python is a high-level interpreted programming language. That its object-oriented programming approach allows the Python programmers to write clear code or logical code of a small and a large-scale project. And with all these features in Python, it comes with a built-in data structure that is already compiled with them, which help the Python programmers to obtain their solution easier and faster. And that is what we're discussing today. In our content, we are going to look each and every one of the elements in that is the built-in data structure in Python. We're going to look at the overview of them and how to create them. This is the summary of built-in data structure in Python. We have lists, we have dictionary, we have tuple, and sets. Built-in data structure in Python, just as the name implies, Python, it makes Python programming or Python programmers to obtain their solution or result faster. And let's discuss each and every one of them in detail. Lists, the overview of lists. Lists The overview of lists is one of the most versatile data types that allow us to work with multiple elements at once. Lists are used to store data of different data types in a sequential manner. This means that, like some of us that we have the knowledge of JavaScript, just take list as an array in JavaScript. Lists work the same thing in Python, just as an array in JavaScript. It allows you to work with a multiple elements at once. And you can see this line that says that it accepts every kind of data type. List can accept integer, boolean, even lists inside the list. So it can accept all the different data types. And every element inside the list has an address assigned to each of them, which is called an index, which starts from 0 to the what is called positive index, which is the last element of that list. There is also what is called negative index, which allows you to access the elements of the list, starting from the last element down to the first element, which starts from -1. Then how do you create a list? To create a list in Python, you use the square brackets and add elements into it accordingly. If you do not pass in any element inside the list, it will return an empty list as an output. For you to create a list in Python, you just declare your normal variable, then assign it, start with a square bracket, then enter the elements inside the square bracket. If you do not fill in any elements inside the square bracket, it will return an empty list. And please look on my screen. There's an amazing thing on my screen. You can see my example. I created my list, then declare it an empty square right? And this is the output. It will return an empty list. Then I reassign my list again and I reassign my list again and fill in elements. You can see different data type inside one list. You can see an integer. This is a string. This is a float. You can even add boolean or even list inside the list. So you can see my output. It has put it and list did not complain with that. Then we'll go into the next data structure in built-in data structure in Python, which is called TUPLE. Tuple are a data structure that stores an order sequence of value. Tuple are immutable. Tuple is the same thing as list. It allows you to work with a multiple data at once also, but they are immutable, just like list. List, you can reassign, you can access the elements of a list and reassign it to another value, and list will not complain. But if you do that in tuple, it will throw an exception. Just take tuple like a constant variable you declare with constant in JavaScript. You cannot change that, reassign to that variable. So, but in this case, in tuple, you cannot change any elements inside the tuple. You cannot access the index and change that element as far as that you declare that variable as a tuple. And you can see this because I say that this tuple is the same thing with this, with the exception that when once element is entered inside the tuple, you cannot change it no matter what. Then how do you create a tuple? You create a tuple using parentheses, just as you use square brackets in list. You can just declare a variable and open parentheses and keep in your elements or data. Then you can also create tuple using tuple function or constructor. I forgot to explain that in list also. List is not, you cannot only declare list with a square bracket. You can also use this constructor to declare list in Python. But once you use this constructor, you will not start with square brackets again. You will start with this constructed, this keyword followed by parentheses. The same thing with tuple. You can start either by declaring your function, your variable, then open this parentheses and fill in your data, or you declare your variable, then start with tuple constructor or tuple function. You can see my example here. My tuple, I have my elements and it executed it without complaint. All right. Can you see me? Hello.
We can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
Your background is just bad.
Huh?
Your background is bad. Can make use of another background.
Sorry, it's not my fault. Sorry. Right. Let's proceed. The next data built-in data structure in Python is what is called sets. Sets are the collection of an ordered sequence of elements that are unique. Just mark this word unique, meaning that even if the data is repeated more than one time, it will be entered into the set only once. This built-in data structure in Python called sets. It just resembles normal sets that flow from mathematics. Their operation resemble the arithmetic of set operation also. In sets, when once you declare your sets, you cannot have the duplicates of elements inside the sets. Okay, let's look on how to create sets so that you understand that better. How do you create a set? Sets are created using the flower or curly braces. But instead of adding key value pairs, you just pass your value to it. This key value pairs, you understand better. You understand that better in my next explanation. That is in my next in the next data structure in Python. You can understand these key value pairs. But in this sets, you can just declare your variable, then open a curly braces and enter your elements inside the set. Just look at this example so that you understand what I'm saying better. I declared my set, then I fill in this data. Look at this example. I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. But look at my output. Set just attribute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it ignores these ones because Python executes their code line by line. So set just meets this first element 5, and we just attributed but the other 5 we just make it like, hey guy, I've worked and I've said to you now what I still doing here. So we skip that. So let's say an example. Let's say that you want to collect the set of Python team in Beacon, and um, you have two Loveth inside the Python team. Then you start collecting the data. You add you add iframe and victory Loveth. Then you add another Loveth because you have two Loveth in the Python team. So it's one of them anyway, but just I put one Loveth and take the Loveth the elements that you have set to. So you don't need to work with you again, the elements again. So that is what is meant by that. Set is an ordered sequence of elements that have of unique value. So you cannot duplicate elements inside the set. Right. Let's move ahead to the next built-in data structure in Python, which is a dictionary. Dictionary are used to store key value pairs. Just as I said before that I will explain these key value pairs in the dictionary. It means that just like for some of us, I'm using JavaScript as a comparison. For some of us that will be coming from that knowledge, just take set as an dictionary as an object in JavaScript. It stores its value in keys and pairs, as in using the keys and value. Let me explain so that you understand that better. To understand dictionary better, just think of your phone dictionary that you have hundreds and thousands of names and their corresponding number have been added to it. And the various names are the keys, while the phone numbers are the values. The same way Python dictionary stores the data. Just think of your phone that you used to save people's number, saving different numbers with different names. Just take that name that you used to save that number as a key that you used to identify the number. Whenever the number is calling, the name will show. Then you will know that, hey, this is a particular person that is calling. So the same way Python dictionary work. And think of that your phone dictionary also. That whenever you maybe assuming that you want to collect my line now, I have my Excel and you collected 2 of them. Then you store my Airtel line with Loveth in small letter. Then you want to store my MTN line also with Loveth in small letter also. Your phone will tell you that this name has already existed. So you can either use capital letter or any other thing to identify it. The same way Python dictionary works. You not duplicate the keys in dictionary, but you can duplicate the values.
Hello.
Let's
Loveth, you have 5 minutes more.
all right, so I am. So let's look at how to create a list. Sorry, dictionary in Python. Dictionary is created by using flag braces or dict function, just as the other built-in data structure in Python. But you can add key value pairs whenever you work with dictionary. See my example. I declared my dict. I put an empty curly braces and it's returned an empty dictionary. Then I have my dict. I have look at maybe I want to store the number of programming languages that Beacon offers in the dictionary. I have 1 Python, giving it a value of Python. I have 2, giving it Java. Okay, you can look at this my example. You cannot do something like 1 Python, 1 Java. The dictionary will complain about it in Python. But you can do something like 1 Python, 2 Python, 3 Python. You can duplicate Python as many as you want. And dictionary not complain in Python. So keys are not duplicated in dictionary. So my summary lists. Okay, my summary look like comparing and contrasting the built-in data structure in Python and having their difference and their similarities. So list is mutable. That means you can make any changes in the list. And this is not only thing about list. This have their method, the methods that you can play around with them. So you can change the elements inside the list. You can duplicate list. You can reassign elements as many as you want in the list. But tuple is like the opposite of list. Tuple are immutable. Once you declare tuple, you have declared it. You cannot reassign the element another. You cannot access the index and assign in another element to the tuple. Tuple will throw an exception. And set is mutable. That means you can make any changes in a set, but elements are not duplicated. Yes, you can make any changes in a set, but the changes that you are making, you can reassign another element to a tuple, provided that that element that you want to assign to that set, is not already existing in the formal list. If not, it will only attribute it once, that element once. It will not throw an exception, but it will just attribute that element that you duplicated once. Then dictionary is mutable, but keys are not duplicated. Just as I've said, you can play around with dictionary, you can access the index of a key, reassign it to that another key, provided that that key, that word or anything that you want to use is not already existing in that dictionary as a key, but you can duplicate the value and play around with it. And all of them, all the within data structure in Python, all of them have the different methods that you can use and play around them. So with this, come to the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. Any question?
Okay, thank you, Loveth. Mr. Taiwo,
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
good morning. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm set, sir.
You can share your screen. If you have any question for Loveth, you can keep it at the end of Taiwo's presentation.
Good. So I'm still finding my document, sir. Where do I keep this file? Bookmark, documents.
Tech support. It's like Taiwo needs a help.
I need help of sharing documents, sir. I can't find it. Yeah.
Where are you here?
Sir, I can hear you, but I can't find it. I can't find my slideshow. What
You
happened?
can't find it, or you can't. You didn't see. You can't share it.
I can't share it.
But your
I need
slideshow
it.
is open.
My slideshow are not open.
It's not open.
Yes, sir.
Have you opened PowerPoint?
PowerPoint. Okay, I should open PowerPoint ready.
You should open
PowerPoint.
your presentation on PowerPoint first.
Okay.
Bayo. Taiwo, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can go ahead.
I'm sharing it for you.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Good morning, everyone. My name is Taiwo. I work as PMO team, social lender team. What I need to share with you this morning is utilizing Photoshop in creating an image. How do we create an image or editing photo in Photoshop? That's what I want to show you. But let's first go to the definition. What is Photoshop per se? Photoshop are known as Adobe photo editing, image creation, and graphics design software. The software provides many image editing features for raster. That is those picture that was
Hello,
not
Taiwo.
clear enough. Hi, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Please, on your camera.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Can you see my camera?
Yes, I can see the man. I can see the man.
Okay. Thank you, sir. As I'm saying, what is Photoshop in computer? Photoshop, these are known as Adobe photo editing, image creation, and photo and graphic design software. That is, we don't usually do photo editing in Photoshop. We do graphics likewise, and we do image creation likewise. These software are known as PS, and it provides many image editing features. Image editing features for raster. That is, those pictures that was not clear enough, and this software can do many features on like editing features on that raster star image that we are working on. and it is and it can make it to be a photography. That is the photography that was not cannot lose quality whenever that we stretch it or zoom it, and this and it display as a layer. If you open the PS software, I mean Photoshop, it's a display as layer, which based on editing system that enable image creation and altering with multiple overlay that supports transparency. And let's move on to interface layout. Because I've talked about layout, that is it display as layout. In the upper menu, we have menu, we have edit, we have layer, we have image, we have selecting, and that was in the object. And in the left side, we have the two balls, which consist of over 70 tools that contain that if you are familiar with the Adobe Illustrator and the other Adobe InDesign like Corridor, we have two balls there that we make use of in creating our design, and we have palette, which we have different kind of color that we make use of in changing our image or graphics. Let's move on to toolbars in Photoshop. As I said here, as I've said before, that we have toolbars in Photoshop, which we use to make our image good and presentable and well presentable, like vectors, graphics. And the toolbars, as I said before, I said that if you are familiar with the Adobe Illustrator, and the Adobe InDesign and other Adobe software like Corridor and lot, and those software have toolbars which we make use of in creating or designing our graphics. And in these toolbars, we have Move, we have Lasso, we have Magic Word, and we have different kind of tools. I say over 70 tools that are inside the toolbars. We have transparency and lot. And let's move on to palettes. As I said before, that palettes, those are the color that we have access to, and this palette we have swatches palettes. I mean those the visible color that we can have access to, and the invisible as like transparency or like shadow. That was invisible palette. Whereby the visible palette can change the background or foreground of the thing that you are working on. Let's move on to the next one. How do we change background? Okay, we have talked about the layer palette. Layer palette. Those are the palettes palette that we choose, that is make use of color and the effects, whereby it change the the image that we are working on, or we can sharp it, and we can shadow it and lot. That is, it make the image that we are drawing good, look good, and well presentable. Let's move on to another topic, another place, which is how do we move? Okay, how do we import image in PS? We have several ways of importing image. At least we have file method whereby we select new program, and we go to the Explorer, and we pick up our images. And the one that I make use of is drag method, or drag picture into inside PS, and it was very easy to do. First thing you will first do is that you will minimize the PS software, and now drag your mouse into the desktop or file, or where you set your images, and after you open your image, and you will now drag the image with your mouse inside into the Photoshop that you have opened, the software program that you have opened. And after doing this, and you press left click, and the image will now drop inside the Photoshop as a new document and new layer. That's why that's how it works, by dragging the picture inside the Photoshop. Let's move on to another one. Two simple ways to delete the background in Photoshop. That is, when we prefer not to use the background again, and we now want to import another background, like flower, like anything. And first thing is that we make use of quick select mode. Quick select mode is the mask cutting tools that was very useful and very easy to use. And other select cut mode, like magic work, magic cut, and lot, or cuts, or by using eraser, by cleaning up the background. But before you can work on background in Photoshop, you will first unlock your background layer. After you unlock your background layer, and you will now pick the object tools, object action tools in the toolbox, inside the toolbox, and you will see another hidden file or hidden icon on it, and you will press on quick select mode, and when you pick this quick select mode, and you will now start into painting painting the image that we want to to make it to stay in the after you painting it finish and you will press delete, and the image that you paint will remain in that layer, and the rest will now delete, and the rest will come. Let's move forward. That's how we delete any background in Photoshop.
So, hello,
Let's move.
Mr. Taiwo.
I sir.
You still have 5 minutes
Hello.
left. 5 minutes just left.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Sir.
All right.
Sir. Let's move on to. I hear you, sir. Yes. I hear you, sir. The easiest quick way to remove the background in spite of so many ways. We have so many ways to remove background in Photoshop, but the one that I use when I import a an image inside Photoshop and I want to remove the background. What I make use of is quick select mode, but I will drag my mouse to the layer which is on the upper side, and I now pick the object select tools, and when I pick the object select tools and there will be an hidden brush come out, and I pick the quick select mode. And when I pick the quick select action brush, and I will now started painting the image that I want it to remain after I delete. And when I finish painting everything, then I delete, and the one that I paint will remain, and the rest will gone. But before I pick the objects tools, I first duplicate the layer, because whenever that I have mistake on that painting, I will just delete everything and go back to the former one that I do the duplication, and I will now redo the duplication again and work on the duplication that I do, and I now started to be painting it over and over until I perfect it and delete it, and the one that I painted will remain, and the rest will come. That's how Photoshop is working. I don't usually do my Photoshop on laptop or desktop. I make use of my smartphone in doing Photoshop because I have the software on which I use Photoshop. It works like laptop Photoshop. Thank you. Time for question. Any question?
Thank you very much, Taiwo.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the presentation. The question floor is open now for the book presenters. If you have any question, you can ask your question now. It seems there's no question coming forward. You can evaluate your audience based on your presentation. Over to you, Loveth. Let Loveth go first.
Right. I made mention that there are built-in data structure in Python. Who can mention at least two?
We have the dictionary, we have the set, we have the tuple.
All right. Did I still need to ask another one?
Over to you, Taiwo. Thank you very much. Taiwo, can I ask your question?
Okay, sir. My question is that which software is the best use for creating an image? That is the best use of in making an image. Anyone? Which software is the best use in creating an image?
Taiwo, if nobody is responding, they can call names.
Okay.
Taiwo.
All right, sir. I will do that, sir. Okay, I call on Benjamin. Benjamin, can you answer my question?
You didn't hear me. I'm like, what did you ask? What was the question? I didn't follow.
I say which software is the most useful in creating an image?
Photoshop.
Photoshop. Okay, you got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Taiwo, thank you for that. Loveth, thank you as well for the presentation. We have less than 1 minute to end the section for this week. But I want to announce to us that there will be an announcement that will be released later on today. It's optional. If you want to join the weekend, there's a weekend shift that's coming up for the KD. If you want to join, you can indicate interest on the thread when the announcement is made. It's a special moment and it's going to take a new shape. And it's specifically just weekend KD. And if you want to feature in it as well, you can indicate your interest as well. So thank you, everybody. We can discuss our respective stand-ups.
Mr. Ijoma, please, sorry. The KD, is it different from the normal one we observe? This is
It's different. It's different. It's different. Yes, it's different. Okay, thank you. It's 9:45 already. Goodbye, everybody.